In the deep forests of the north, where winter never ends, something waits. It hungers not for food, but for the soul. They call it the Wendigo. You're watching tales across the globe, where ancient wisdom meets powerful storytelling. Every week we bring you timeless folk tales, legends, and hidden gems from around the world. If you love stories that matter, you're in the right place. Now, let us take you to a land of snow and silence, where one man's hunger awakened something monstrous. Long ago, before roads cut through the pines, and before maps marked every mountain and river, there was only the land, vast, cold, and ancient. In the far north, where the Algonquin people hunted and lived in harmony with the seasons, winter was not a season, it was a force. When the snow came, it came like a blanket over the world, covering the earth, the food, the sun. And with it came silence. Not peace, but the kind of silence that swallows sound. In these lands, stories were whispered from elder to child, of spirits that walked the snow. Some were protectors, others were warnings, and the darkest of them all was the Wendigo, a spirit of hunger, of greed, of endless gnawing desire. They said it could smell your desperation, that it once was human until it fed on flesh, and once you hear it whisper your name, it's already inside you. In one such village lived a skilled hunter, Matok, tall, broad-shouldered, with a sharp eye and a sharper mind. He had provided for his family many winters and wore his pride like a second cloak. But this year, the snow came early. The caribou herds vanished. The fish disappeared beneath black ice. The children coughed in their sleep, and the soup grew thinner by the day. And so Matok, refusing to accept defeat, stood at dawn. "I will go deeper," he told the council. "Farther than before. I will return with meat, or not at all." His wife begged him to stay. His brother warned, "Beyond the ridge, no one returns." But Matok's pride was louder than their fear. He kissed his son, took his spear, and disappeared into the forest's white breath. For days, Matok wandered through the frozen woods. At first, he moved with purpose, tracking prints in the snow, checking his snares, watching the sky for signs. But the forest gave him nothing. No tracks, no movement, no sound. Only the creaking of frozen branches and the dull ache of cold in his bones. His hands grew numb, his lips cracked. Each night he built smaller fires. Each morning, his breath came slower. He began to lose track of time. One moon? Two? He saw shapes in the trees, heard voices in the wind. "Matok! Turn back!" He told himself it was the wind, just the wind. But his dreams grew darker, visions of his family starving, of himself feasting. And then he found something. A man lay curled beneath a pine tree, frost on his lashes, face pale as death. A traveler? A hunter like him? Matok could not tell. But one thing was clear. The man had food. A small pouch of dried meat, clutched tight in his hand. Matok knelt beside him. "Brother," he whispered, "you're alive." The man groaned, not in words, just sound, a sound of fear. Matok built a fire, shared the last of his water, tried to lift him. But as the hours passed, it became clear. The man would not survive the night, and Matok would not survive another without food. His stomach twisted, his hands shook. He remembered his son's eyes, hollow and hungry. The whispers returned. Take what you need. It is the way of the wild. That night, as the fire burned low, Matok made a choice that would echo through the snow for generations. And when the sun rose, the man was gone, and Matok was no longer hungry. The wind stopped blowing, the forest grew still, and far off in the trees, something opened its eyes. Matok made his way back toward the village. But something had changed. He was warm now. Too warm. His limbs no longer trembled, but felt too light, stretched and taut, like strings pulled too tight. His dreams were darker. In one, he saw the man he had buried, not dead, but watching from the trees. In another, he saw himself feasting in the night, his hands coated red. He woke with meat between his teeth, though he remembered eating nothing. The whispers no longer came from the wind. They came from inside. More, they said, still hungry. And Matok felt it, deep inside his chest, where warmth should live. A cold fire. He reached the edge of the forest. The village smoke rose ahead. Children's voices echoed faintly. But Matok did not smile. He hesitated, because the hunger was still there, and it was no longer just in his belly. Matok returned home, and his people rejoiced. They embraced him, thanked him, but they noticed he was not the same. He did not eat what they offered. He stared too long, and at night, he walked alone. Then the animals began to vanish. Dogs, goats. One morning, the elder's grandson went missing. They found only footprints and something else. Claw marks in the snow. The elders gathered in fear. "This is not the work of wolves," said the shaman. "It is something older, something cursed." That night, a scream pierced the sky. A woman saw a figure, tall, stretched thin, its eyes glowing like coals. Its breath steamed in the dark, though it made no sound. "It wore Matok's face," she whispered, "but it was not him." And the shaman nodded. "The Wendigo walks among us." The elders called upon the shaman, an old woman with eyes like river stones and hands stained with ochre. "It is not the man we fight," she said, "but the spirit inside him." She prepared the sacred herbs, painted her face with ash and cedar. Then she walked alone into the forest. "Wendigo, I name you. Spirit of the lost, eater of kin, hunger with no end. I see you." The ground trembled, and from the shadows it came. Matok's shape, but not his soul. His limbs twisted, his mouth torn wide, eyes like burning pits. "You have no power here," it hissed. But the shaman stood firm. She cast the sacred dust, sang the song of banishment. The Wendigo screamed, a sound not of pain, but rage. Snow exploded. Trees bent back. And then silence. When the wind cleared, only footprints remained. And in the distance, a weeping voice, fading. Matok was gone. The Wendigo was bound once more, but not destroyed, for such things cannot die. Only sleep, waiting for the next hungry soul. Today the forest looks peaceful, but the people remember. When the snow falls heavy, they listen for cracking branches, for voices in the wind. "Grandfather," the child asks, "is the Wendigo real?" The old man kneels, looks into the trees. "Only if we let it be," he says. "Only if we forget who we are and feed the hunger inside." Thank you for watching Tales Across the Globe. If this story stirred something in you, a chill, a thought, a memory, let us know in the comments. And if you believe stories like this deserve to live on, like, share, and most of all, subscribe for more timeless stories from around the world. New videos every week.